Thank you for joining me on the webinar. As promised, let's talk about the 5 biggest mistakes I see business owners make when it comes to growing their sales. Before I get started, imagine last year and think about the things that you were unable to buy, the growth you were unable to afford, maybe your inability to pay down some debts, the amount of money that you took home where you wish you had been able to take a bit more. Think about those things. Now, what if this year you could grow your revenue by 10,000, 100,000, 400,000, whatever that number might be for you? And if you did that, how would it impact the investment you could make in your company in the form of marketing, hiring awesome people, adding great trucks and equipment to your fleet? How would that impact the year? What if you took home just a little bit more money? How would that impact your life? So let's talk about 5 things I see savvy business owners getting right. When your competitors are winning, these are the 5 things they're probably doing. And if you do these 5 things, it'll have a transformative effect on your year. Number 1, most business owners think they're marketing when they're not. And what I mean by that is they're getting a few fundamentals of marketing wrong. Number 1, they're scattering around their marketing dollars. They read about something and they do it for a little while, they try it for a little while, they don't get a lot of result from it, and as a result, they quit doing it. Real marketing is trying something, understanding that it may not go perfect. It may not get quite the results you were hoping for. And so what you do is you try a version 2 or version 3. So if it's a door hanger and you've put out door hangers and you really haven't had a lot of success, you might need to try your door hangers in a different neighborhood or a different area. You might need to change the headline. You might need to change the offer. If you've been trying Facebook ads and they're not working, look at what others are doing. Read some books. What are some different headlines and calls to actions and things you can try? So when it comes to marketing, companies are not testing. They're trying one thing, it's not working like they thought, and they're moving on to the next thing, and they're saying, hey, that doesn't work, or marketing doesn't work. In addition to that, they're not working from a plan. It's back to that scattered idea. A little of this, a little of that. At the beginning of the year, sit down and say, hey, when will my clients be buying the services that I have to sell? So for example, when will they need mowing? When will they need fertilization weed control? When will they have an ant control problem? When will they have an insect issue? When will they have all these pains in their life based on weather or something of that sort, time of year? And then create a calendar so that in advance of that thing, you have prepared the marketing, and then right when that thing is about to happen, when the grass is starting to grow, when it's time to plant flowers, when the ants are showing up in the lawn, you have marketing showing up in their email, in their mailbox, things of that sort. So marketing calendar and test, test, test. Number 2, companies are not collecting massive numbers of reviews from their happy clients. It's imperative that you get reviews. It's like SEO of the old days. Reviews are one of the most important strategies. It's how your buyers are making decisions. When you buy something on Amazon, do you read the reviews? When you buy anything, whatever it might be, do you find yourself looking at reviews for restaurants, for hotels? Most likely, yes. That is how most individuals are making buying decisions. Therefore, if you do not have any reviews, or you have very few reviews, or you've ignored your reviews and they're poor, that is killing you. This is a huge strategy. The dilemma is it's challenging. So here's a tip. In Service Autopilot, all you have to do is you have to create a document template. It is a pre-written email. And in that email, it will have links. A link to your Yelp account, a link to your Google account, a link to your Angie's List account. When a client says, thank you so much, you did an awesome job, you simply say, hey, would you mind saying that on Yelp, or would you mind giving me a review on Google? And you click a couple buttons in Service Autopilot and it blasts that pre-written email right to them. You can do the same thing with the text message, but it's using a document template. Or you might get even more advanced. You might create a form inside Service Autopilot, and after a job, you might use automations to automatically send them that form. And in that form it says, hey, how did we do on a scale of 1 to 10? If they rate you an 8, 9, or 10, the system automatically will send them an email and say, thank you so much, we're thrilled you're happy, and it will automatically Send them that email so that they can click a link and give you a review. And if they're dissatisfied, it will automatically notify someone on your team to take action. Start collecting reviews. It's not as difficult as it seems. It is work. You do have to train your team, but you can use technology to make it simple. Number 3, you're not reimagining the selling process. Imagine how your client wants to buy from you. Imagine what the dream come true solution for them is. Most don't even want to call us on the phone anymore. What they'd rather do is just send us a text message. Most don't even want to meet us at home. Most don't want to meet 3 service providers and walk the property. The dream would be that they send you a text message, you send them a quote by text, and they say yay or nay. Now, there could be some problems with that, in that if all you do is send them a price, you didn't get an opportunity to really sell them on why you're different. You didn't get a chance to understand their frustrations and their pain points so that you could address them and essentially prove that you're the expert. So I'm going to give you an example, and it won't work for everyone, but I'm going to give you an example of how to reimagine the process. So I want you to take this and I want you to imagine for yourself, how could you question your process? What if a prospect went to your website, or a client sent you a text message, or a client emailed, or a client called in? And when they did any of those actions, and let's use the example if they called in, okay? Any of the other scenarios work the same, but they call in. And what we do is we keep them on the phone. We ask them why they're looking around. The first thing we did is we got their address. Inside Service Autopilot, the system automatically brings up a map based on their address. Our team, while the client's on the phone, measures the property. That measurement automatically gets saved in Service Autopilot as gross lot square footage, turf square footage, house square footage. Yes, they had to do a bit of measuring, but they get those 3 numbers, they're saved in the system forever. A price matrix automatically knows how to price for weekly, bi-weekly, ant treatments, fertilization, weed control, aeration, on and on and on. It reads that square footage and it automatically figures out a price, and it automatically generates an estimate. Our team quotes that price right over the phone. If they cannot sell the client, then we will follow up with an estimate that has the pricing. But high percentage of the time, we close the client right there on the phone, and the final step is we ask for a credit card to auto bill their work every week. That is reimagining the process. I think there's other ways to question the selling process. We do all of it in Service Autopilot, and we do it all on the first call. What could you do? How could you change the selling process so it more closely caters to what your client's ideal would be? Your client has a problem. They want that problem solved fast by someone they trust. They have an item on their to-do list and they want that thing off the to-do list as quick as they can. They don't really want to talk to 3 to 5 service providers. They want you to solve the problem on the first call, to give them a price, check that off the to-do list, and they want to move on to their next thing in life. So think about the process. How can you speed it up? How can you take friction out of the process? And how can you automate as much of it as possible with technology? Number 4. When we send our team out to a property to provide a quote, there is a lot of cost in rolling the truck to get it to their home. We're spending quite a bit of money. We have the team member, we have the truck, we have insurance, we have all these expenses to get the truck to the client's property, and then to walk the property, have a conversation with the client so that they can provide a quote. So imagine that the client says, hey, what would it cost to do X? And they're asking for a price on a single service. You send a technician, an estimator, a salesperson, whatever you want to call them, to the property. You've made this big investment in getting them to the property. Now that they're at the property, why not go ahead and measure, take pictures of, calculate all the other things you could do for the client? So if they were saying, hey, what would it cost to mow my lawn? While you're there, go ahead and figure out what it would cost to trim the bushes on a regular basis. What would it cost to provide pest control? What would it cost to fix the downspout that's broken? What would it cost to, if you do these things, fix the latch on the gate that's not locking properly that could in the future risk a dog getting out? Think about everything that you might want to eventually upsell to this client, or they might call in later and say, hey, what would it cost? Get those prices now while you're on the property. In Service Autopilot, we built estimates so that you could record all of the pricing for all the different services you might provide a client on the estimate. And you can click one button. You could have 10 things listed, 10 different services with pricing. And the client says, I only want pricing for mowing. You click the button next to mowing, you click send, and it only sends them an estimate for that one thing, but it keeps the pricing forever for the other 9 things. The idea is that if you're gonna make the investment to send them to your client's home, prospect's home, figure out all the pricing for the future so that later, when they call and say, what would it cost? You're like, I can tell you, I've got the price right here. Or later, when you need work mid-year, your team can call them up and say, hey, Miss Smith, did you know that when we were out last inspecting your property, your downspouts were beat up or your gate latch was loose? We're a little bit worried about that. Wanted to let you know so you can take care of it. And oh, by the way, we've got someone on staff that could take care of that for you if you don't get to it. We'd love to help you. How much money might that be worth to you? Number 5, you do a lot of marketing in spring, your sales ramp up, you have too much work, you turn off the marketing. And then the summer months, they dry up. It's normal that you'll have a rush of leads at the beginning of the year. The second half of the year will be slower. So it's imperative that you, on your marketing plan, think through how you're going to keep your sales growing steadily through the year. The way you do that is you sell new clients in the beginning of the year, and in the second half of the year, you're looking for every opportunity possible to sell your client work, services that will be of value to them. You can accomplish that by having figured out pricing in advance at the property, but you can also do simple things like calling and checking in, using something like Service Autopilot to automatically email blast them. Basically, the idea is you are looking for additional work. So many companies just sort of accept there's not a lot of new clients calling and are like, well, I guess we're just not going to have a ton of business for the rest of the year. You can drum up so much business from your database, from your list of existing clients, past leads, former clients. You should mine that data that's stored inside your software. And if you want to be advanced, you can use something like automations to automatically figure out a client is buying this service, but not this service, and have the system automatically market to them. Or clients buying bi-weekly mowing, and it's now the prime growing season, have the system automatically market to them for weekly mowing. There's all types of advanced ways using technology that you can fill in those gaps in those months where your revenue starts to decline, and you can make that revenue grow. Savvy companies are marketing all year long, and they're marketing to their clients in the downtime, meaning in the time of season when there's not tons of new clients coming into the market, looking for estimates and bids. If you did everything I just described, could you make an extra $10,000 this year? For sure. That's a cakewalk. Could you make an extra $100,000? I would say that for the majority of companies, even small companies, absolutely. The things I'm talking about are not that difficult. The reason these things don't get done is because a person has to do them. Because a lot of them fall on your plate. A lot of them fall onto your team member's plate. Maybe you bring a team member into the company, you're like, hey, I want you to do all these things, but then the phones start ringing and all kinds of other things happen inside the business, and they don't do these things that are truly the most important things that make a company grow. And that's why we believe to our core that technology can fix those problems. A level of automation, a level of process, all managed and ran by technology, meaning that it happens all the time. You don't have to rely on yourself or a person to do it when they have time. That type of technology is a game changer. And that's why we built Service Autopilot. So my question to you is, if Service Autopilot could do all of these things, and these things would make you an extra $10,000 or $100,000 or $400,000 this year, why in the world would you not implement technology that can fix all these problems for you versus continuing to do it the old way, the manual way? The easiest way to go get the money you're leaving on the table is take part in the offer that we're running for the next 2 days. Get Service Autopilot for 3 months for the price of 1. We will help you get started. We will help you import your data. We'll help you set up the system. We will help you in any way we can to make sure that you are absolutely successful. 3 months for the price of 1. You have virtually no risk, and we offer a money-back guarantee. If in that first month the system's not what we claim it is, it's not able to help you, and it is, but if you don't feel it's able to help you in the way that you thought it would, we'll give you back all of your money. So let us help you change this year. Let us help you find that $10,000, that $100,000. You've got 2 days.